Hi guys, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk Giordano Plastering. This is actually Jay's job. I'm just here helping. He's also a licensed stucco contractor too. Anyway, we're going to show you how we do this wall in probably less than 10 minutes. We're going to lath this. We're going to put screeds on, brand new vents. We're going to pull the trim off and just show you how the stages of it being completed. If you want to say how to lath or see how to lath, just go to our channel and type in how to lath. We have some great detailed videos. But for the sake of trying to show you lath, scratch, brown, and color on this wall, we're just going to do it and flash to it, flash to it, flash to it. All right, guys, we got our screeds on, drip screeds, weep screeds. We got our new vents in. We're about to pull this wood here, and I see the arc of this. It's going inward, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, we'll see what we come to when we pull this off. Whatever it is, we will deal with it. And we got a few bows here and there, but if it were easy, they wouldn't be hiring Jay to do this. Anyhow, next time you see us, we're going to have all this off, and we're going to have the papered and wired. Okay, guys, that's the lath. 2 layers of paper, and it does matter which direction the wire goes on. It's self-furred so that the stucco will embed. Make certain you got that on. Staple off straight lines. Try to get into your studs. Caulk all the wood. Caulk all the windows, and use some good stuff. Any polyurethane caulking. Anyhow, that's for the lath. We have a lath inspection. We're not done with the house, but we got a lath inspection tomorrow. When we get ready to do the scratch, brown, and color, we'll show you just a quick phase of each. Okay, guys, we're going to do the scratch coat now. Our inspection for the lath has been signed off. A couple tips, guys. When you're doing the scratch coat, you want to go about 3/8 of an inch thick per coat. So technically 3/8 for this, 3/8 for the brown coat, and then your final 1/8 for the color coat, which gives you 7/8. 7/8 is the technical depth for all traditional 3-coat stucco systems. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting the first coat on. I'm embedding the stucco into the mesh wire. And you don't get a lot of long strokes with this particular finish or this application. On color coat we get long strokes, and here we just want to go 3/8 of an inch thick. So whatever it is, it is. Important thing is try to embed the wire. If you don't embed the wire completely, no big deal. You got another coat after this. This is 3/8, the next one is 3/8. Then your final 1/8 of an inch for color. Anyway, that's how we scratch coat, guys. Okay, guys, I saved a little spot for the end of the video. Now Dan over here is going to put some mud on for us. We actually stuccoed the first coat on the whole house. I wanted to save something because I wanted to show you guys something important. That being, I just got off the phone with somebody who said, I got a fellow who put fibers in the cement, and I thought it's overrated as far as fibers. Let me show you guys something as far as the scratch coat goes. Well, after you do a scratch coat, this has been on for about 2 hours. You hose it down. That's the most important thing. You hydrate the wall. The scratch coat is going to set a minimum of 2 days with hydration. Somebody's going to be out here hydrating this wall both days. Then for the brown coat, we hydrate that 2 weeks, and that is the best you can do as far as avoiding cracks. Malin and I are going to just finish applying this right here, and Jay also is going to help us. And Dan, go ahead and grab your tools, and we got just this little spot left here for you folks. But I wanted to point it out some common sense things. As far as, do you need fibers in a scratch and brown coat? Not really. Fibers not going to stop a 10-ton or 100-ton house from cracking. It's kind of a myth that I just got off the phone with somebody, and she says, well, they didn't put the fibers in. You don't have to put fibers in a scratch coat. They started out with fibers about 30 years ago because some of the materials, same-day materials, in 1980, they would crack, so they added fibers. So fibers really isn't all that important, guys. What is important, do your first coat 3/8 of an inch thick, apply it well, do your mechanical bond scratch well, and then you're all set. And hydration is a key important thing, guys. So until we meet again, which will be the brown coat. And we'll actually stucco this or brown it in a day too. We'll show you that part when we get to it also. Okay guys, we're getting ready to do the brown coat. We scratched it Monday, it's Friday. I've had the homeowner saturating this house just like I'm doing now. You know, most people think that one of the important things is the type of material you use, the cements, the fiber mesh, all that stuff. It matters a little bit. This right here is the most important aspect to a 3-coat stucco system. The absolute most important thing is hydration between coats. We've done this 3-4 days ago, and I've had the homeowners just hydrating this, and I tell them, hydrate it so where you just keep hosing it down, and after the first hydration is done, do it again. And when it's dripping wet where it doesn't absorb anymore, that hydration is done. You do this 2 days minimum after the scratch coat. We allowed 4 because they had some weird stuff going on underneath that T111. That being said, when we brown it today, then we do the exact same thing right here. The homeowners are going to saturate that brown coat or hydrate it for 2 solid weeks, and that'll have the stucco expand and contract. That is the most important, and guess what guys, it's the simplest to do. Much simpler than any aspect. You're just hosing down the wall. And you see how I'm hosing this down? I'm going to keep doing this until the 3/8 of an inch thick stucco here goes all the way to the paper. And then when we put our next 3/8 on it, the homeowners are going to do it until it saturates and hits the paper. Very important guys. Again, much more important than fibers or different types of cement. Anyway, when we get to that stage of the browning, we'll show you that too. Okay guys, how I like to do it is I have a couple guys spreading it, and I'll derby everything. I'll clean all my windows, and then I'll come back and hard rubber float. I'll tell you why, because this derbying keeps me in pretty good shape. So
God, you ain't never been in good shape.
I've been in good shape before. Anyway, I'll show you how I like to do it, guys. I have 2 guys putting mud on, and then what I do is I come back and I just derby it. Fat and ugly, guys, fat and ugly.
Fat and ugly like Tim's ex-girlfriend?
Oh, Tim actually used to have the cream of the crop, still does. When I say fat and ugly, guys, fat and ugly means give me a lot of mud on the walls. Fat and ugly, that way I can derby it. When I worked union, we'd shoot it on with a pump. And when we shoot it on with a pump, we'd always say fat and ugly. That way, there's enough mud to move around. If there's not a lot of mud to move around, oh, it makes the stick guy, me, have a hard time. The more mud I have, the easier it is for me to spread it out, guys. So anyway, we're going to take it all the way to the fence over here. When we're right to that fence, I'm going to drop back. I'm going to start hard rubber floating, take a green sponge float, clean all my window, clean all the trim, and that's how we do this brown coat. All right, guys, I'm hard rubber floating it now. And the fellow who asked me to do last scratch brown in the color and explain the thing, there's no way I could explain in 15 minutes what takes 20 years to learn, but I'll show you some tips. I clean the tape not because I like pretty. I mean, we're clean, but when I do my color coat, if I have mud all over here and I pull my tape, it pulls my color coat off. Then I have to touch it all up, which can screw it up. Anyway, what we want when we're doing this now, this wall is just right. If I allow it to set another hour, now instead of using skill, I'll be using muscle. Man, I don't want to use muscle. I just want to use skill. And what I'm doing is I'm compressing the brown coat. And yes, I can go all day as far as if we're going to do a Santa Barbara smooth mission finish, the type of brown you're going to have. We're doing a float finish, an elegant float finish. Looks like sandpaper, goes well with everything. If I were doing a skip trowel finish, I can close my eyes and do this. It doesn't have to be perfect because the skip hides everything. Anyway, this takes practice, guys. And I'm talking about the kind of practice when I was union working with Danny Smith Plastering, Fred Smith who taught me more than anybody. He would ask the guys when they come in straight from the hall, how much time you got in, bro? And they'd say 10 years, and after about 2 hours he'd walk back up and say, out of that 10 years, how much actual time do you have in? I'm not talking about sitting home watching cartoons, because it's obvious some guys only have a year in, even if they've been doing it 10 years. So this does take, to learn the scratch brown and color, it takes a minimum of about 10 solid years, 8-hour days, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year to learn how to do this. So again, there's no way I'm going to show you exactly how all the little techniques we use, but you're getting an idea. All right, guys, we told you we'd show you every phase. We're trying to get this joint out right now. It's a warm day. Well, it's getting warm. This wall has been hydrated. The scratch and the brown have been hydrated fully for at least 2 weeks. Now what we're doing is Jay's spreading. I actually have another fellow spreading too, and I'm floating everything. That's what this is. It's called bringing out the aggregate. This is called a float finish. It's a 20-30 mix, and it gives a pretty elegant look. It goes with everything. Jay's spreading here, so we're trying to keep this joint out. I don't advise anybody to try to video a hot wall on a joint, because there's a lot you can lose. Anyway, this is a special order color called a float finish. We'll show you the results when we're completely done with everything. Okay guys, we are wrapping it up today. The moral to all of this stuff is this is a custom color. Will it be solid like paint? No way. When this completely dries, it's going to have light and dark variations all over it, because it's equivalent to 3 packs instead of 1 pack. Custom colors do that. Also, we've taken every precaution known to man, or known to stucco guys, in order to hydrate this with the scratch and the brown. Even did mesh tape. Can it still crack? Absolutely. Anybody says it can't, run from that guy and hire another fella. Stucco can crack. However, that being said, brand new construction will crack a lot more than this existing house. This has been here for 50 years. Will it? I doubt it, but it can crack, guys. Anyhow, that's our walkthrough of T111 siding as a base, as a sheathing, the lath, the scratch, the brown, and finally the color coat. And by the way, again, guys, this is a float finish. It's mighty elegant. Anyhow, my name's Kirk, Jason on the camera, and as usual, folks, we thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one.